friends, to another edition of Smarknado. I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, the Danaconda, Dan Sesnit. Dan, how are you doing today?
I have the mullet flowing.
Yeah.
The main event. I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is going to be a really fun week in wrestling for different reasons. We got a very stacked Grand Slam for AEW. Very sad that I can't attend that personally. Got a very busy week at work that I just can't really avoid. And then also, we have the McMahon documentary coming out, and that's going to be very interesting because this is
to say the least.
This is a man whose life and personal life I feel like wasn't as out in the open outside of like wrestling circles for everyone to really know about. And I think that there's going to be a much worse public perception of Vince McMahon, even outside of the sexual, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sex trafficking?
Misconduct and whatnot that he has been accused of and probably did. But just to get into that really quick, obviously they're going to cover the main meat and potatoes of what happened this past year with the allegations that have been put against him that has led to his resignation and basically exodus from WWE. But if I could just make my own top of my wish list of what I think I'd like them to cover in this documentary is just illustrating how incompetent he became at running his company, especially in the last 10 to 15 years. I would like there to be just some light shed on that, on just how chaotic the backstage environment was under him and how he just, was kind of sabotaging his own product, maybe without knowing it,
I don't necessarily care about that stuff. I care about all the other stuff that came to light while they were filming the documentary, right? That's what I'm looking.
Well, yeah. That's. I mean, I feel like that's we're going to get that, but I'm just gonna. I'm saying aside from that stuff, I want them to cover just how much of a bad boss he was for people.
Do you think that that's going to come out, or do you think all these people that are, there with him got his back? Do you think that stuff comes out, or
I don't think everybody
think
does. I wouldn't be surprised if they talk to some writers that are very candid about the way that Vince McMahon would conduct himself.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a puff piece by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm afraid that we're not going to get the juice, right? I don't know. I'm scared that we're not going to get.
At least from what everybody is saying that saw it in advance, they're saying that it's a full-blown burial.
A full-blown burial.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if it coming to light that he took a dump on somebody's head isn't enough of a burial, and that somebody being, somebody that was working under him that trusted him, I don't know. I don't know what else could possibly come out that's going to make it a burial, but I am watching it the moment it pops up on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things that have happened with Vince McMahon that was very shady, even going back to the 80s. Remember with, the bail for Superfly Jimmy Snuka?
Yeah.
Walking into the police station with the suitcases, just I think there's all sorts of stories like that with Vince McMahon, and I would like them to cover different things like that, as well as the obvious.
Yeah, I mean,
if this is going to be 6 episodes at an hour each, they can't just talk about the recent events. There has to be a lot of other stuff.
No, I'd assume they had a lot of this already pieced together and had to scramble backwards and re-edit, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Other than that, yeah, the Vince McMahon documentary is a big one for us. But also this week, it came to light that the Lucha Bros have signed a multi-year deal with the WWE. It's being reported that they are going to be going immediately up to the main roster. And I'm very excited for that. And I think that it would be the best move for them and the best move for the company to just throw them right into the fire on SmackDown with the Bloodline and have them be really good challengers for God. And I'm just going to put this out there right away. I don't want them to fall into the same rhythm that they seem to use for Mexican talents and grouping them with Rey Mysterio. Just because, like, I feel like there is a pigeonholing that happens when you get put with Rey Mysterio. You're just kind of associated with his storylines. There's not a lot of progression. And I just think that would be a miss if they just bring them up and right away they have Mysterio. Dan? It's like I lost Dan for a second. Ooh. Might be having some technical difficulties. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Dan, you there?
No.
Daniel. Dan. Can you hear me? Oh. Oh no. Hmm. Ah. I hate computers. I didn't really like it, but it looked like I did. Dan, we are going to do the show probably Monday because Dan's internet is very, very bad. Bye bye.